Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? I always think I have way more time to set up than I do. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I am super excited to talk to you about Gustav Klimt. So he was quite a guy. He was a homebody, so I totally relate there. Hey Donna, hey Aunt Mer, how was everyone today? So good, I hope, and ready to learn all about Gustav. So let's start talking about him. Well, that's the beauty of the replay, isn't it, Aunt Mer? And oh my gosh, there's nothing like New Hair Day. I don't think. I think it's like one of the greatest days. Hey Pam, how are you? Hi Vicky. Are you still here in Arizona? Oh Pam, I love that you have that Ukrainian flag on your So Donna, where are you exactly in Michigan? I'm dying. Inquiring minds want to know, because I'm a Michigan girl too. Remember, if you're brand new here, if you would follow and like and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. And then please ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott. There are 3 questions. Please answer the 3 questions. Dearborn Heights, very nice. Hi, Jonda. Who else was I gonna say? Hey, Nancy, how are you? Hi, everyone. Hi. Hey, Carol, how are you on the other side of town? So today we're going to talk about Gustav Klimt. And I wanted to let you know to be on the lookout. Remember I had talked to you about the immersive experience that was being presented of Van Gogh that I went to see around Christmas time. So there's an immersive experience with Gustav's works. So it's traveling the country. So be sure to Google that and see if it's coming to a place near you, because you will have yourself a time. He is amazing. And he was kind of hey Jennifer. I don't know that he was recognized for his greatness until late in his career. He died at 55, which is tragic, isn't it? Such a young age, you know. Anyway, I'm going to start showing you some of his paintings. And everybody get their art journal out. Remember, our art journal is a composition book that we just keep making art inside of. So anyone can do it, that's for sure. But I'm going to start showing you some of his paintings while I tell you about him. So, there we go. This one is called The Virgin. And you'll see in this painting that the colors are just vibrant and beautiful. And you'll start to see a pattern of, this is one of my favorites. Portrait Adele Bloch-Bauer. So do you see, and here's a cool thing. This is a cross stitch pattern. Shut up, right? How cool is that? But anyway, be sure to look up these paintings yourself, because you'll start to see his love of patterns and color, right? His work is full of patterns and color. And oftentimes it's a, The Kiss. Everybody knows this one, right? oftentimes he has people in his paintings, and you'll notice that the hands and the faces of the people are realistic and everything else is much more abstract. So another one that he's famous for is the Tree of Life. And in past artist studies that I've done with him, we've painted the Tree of Life in our art journals. That's a famous one. I need to just get something up there so I can just start talking. His stuff is just so inspiring and beautiful. It's just so inspiring and beautiful. The Family, that's a pretty one. Hey, Tam. Okay, so let's look at that, and I'm going to talk to you about... So isn't she gorgeous? Her name is Judith and the Head of Holofernes. I don't know. Anyway, just look at her and her gorgeousness. She's so beautiful. Let's see if I can get it a little bit bigger. So you can start to see, well, here you can see all of the pattern work that he has going on in his paintings. There's just beautiful. So Gustav was a master of metallics. Like he was that's really dark, isn't it? I'm so sorry. Everything was super dark, he loved working with, there we go. Look at her gorgeousness, but look at, take particular notice of her necklace. Do you see all the pattern work in there and all the colors? He loved gold flake. So I'm just going to start blabbing because I need to quit looking at her because I'll just start blabbing about that. He loved painting with gold leaf and patterns. You'll start to see that throughout the entire thing. He was a homebody, but he loved to visit the forest and paint the trees. So that's kind of an interesting fact about him because he really was a homebody. You'll notice that his paintings are filled with amazing detail. And then here's an assignment for you after class. Explore the patterns. Look at the patterns in the Tree of Life. Look at the patterns in the Baby. The Baby is a painting of a baby covered in a quilt. And you can imagine that the quilt is the perfect subject matter for all of his patterns and colors. Let's see. He is the one who famously said, art is a line around your heart, your thoughts. And I believe that I put that in last week's newsletter. At the bottom of each newsletter, I try to give you an artist quote. And so be sure to look for those because that's a fun thing to include in your art journaling, especially when we're doing an artist study. Klimt's father was a gold engraver at the beginning of his career. Klimt painted ceilings and murals. When he was 30 years old, he lost his brother and his father. He no longer wanted to paint scenes from history. Once that happened, he wanted to paint pictures that showed how he was feeling. And you'll notice that, I think, in a lot of artists, that they want to paint from emotions. He started to introduce symbols and patterns to reflect his emotions. And you'll notice that there is, he was Austrian, by the way. You'll notice that his, I think I already said, his hands and his faces are realistic, but everything else is quite abstract. who was born in July 14th, 1862, and he died February 6th, 1918. So like I said, he was only 55, which is just tragic, isn't it? Let's see. So his style was kind of in the middle of a couple of different movements. He is said to have been, he was a symbolist painter, but he was kind of in the middle of, what's the name of that? The Vienna Secession art movement and Art Nouveau. Art Nouveau is just, oh my gosh, I love Art Nouveau. So Art Nouveau is, it's inspired by natural forms, curves of trees and flowers, and it was popular between 1890 and 1910. So, oops, there we go. Be sure to look at some Art Nouveau paintings and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very curvy. It's very, just really quite organic. And at the end of Art Nouveau comes Art Deco, which is much more geometric, right? Everything runs in cycles, doesn't it? There is a movie that you might watch called Woman in Gold, and that is the story of the heir to a Jewish family whose art was stolen by the Nazis, and the art was Klimt's. So you might check that out. It was a really good movie, by the way. Okay, so we're going to talk about, I'm going to show you the pieces that we've done before. Here is the Tree of Life that we did. And for this one, I used metallic watercolors. So because Klimt is very, he was the king of gold leafing, I'm telling you. So when you're gathering supplies to create with his stuff, if you happen to have metallic watercolors, by all means use those. But you can also use things like gel pens. Look at, when I just dug through my gel pen bag, look at the different golds and yellows, and I think this is kind of a coppery color, but whatever. Just look for, so I can add just a touch. I could watercolor with my regular watercolors or color with my colored pencils when we get to our art project, and then just do some highlighting with my metallic pens, right? So just know that you can create this and get that same effect in a very easy way. Another painting that we did, this one I also used my metallic watercolors, and I just did a heart and I filled it with shapes and patterns. I do have a sheet here where I just drew out patterns, right? So you'll notice that he does this triangular with a triangle and a triangle, and so kind of like a swirl, but it's triangular. Lots of curly cues, lots of that. Lots of shapes filled with more geometric shapes, but almost always rounded in this sense. A rectangle inside of a rectangle, a square inside of a square, circles inside of circles. You'll notice that that's kind of his jam. So here's what I have planned for us today. So I started out knowing that I wanted to do I wanted to fill a block with his shapes, right? So in my art journal, so get a ruler and a pencil, I drew a 6x6 square. And then I wrote his name in big blocky letters down here at the bottom. And I just started to fill that block with shapes, right? So you'll notice that this pattern is really, where's my iPad? This pattern of rows and rows of, so you'll see here, do you see this one is loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop, like up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So that's a fun one. Here we go. In the kiss, look at the man's robe, right? Look at the man's robe. You'll see this pattern. There we go. Oops. Sale sign. Whatever. There, you'll see the repetition of these rectangles, but in the background of that, very faintly, are these swirls. So I really wanted to make sure I had these swirls incorporated in my square. I like these, a square and a square and a square, right? So I just made mine just a square filled with his patterns. So that's how I'm going to be painting and paying tribute to Gustav. You know, you do you. You do it in the whatever way speaks to you. By looking at his art, by the you're going to become inspired however you're inspired. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has different life experiences, and those things color how you see the world, right? So I drew mine all out in pencil first, and then I went over it with a pen. I still have some areas to fill here. I'm thinking I want to do a little something here. Then I still need to go in and fill with color and then add my gold. And I'm creating it as I go. I don't have an overall plan. I want it to just ponder it and kind of come to my creation organically, right? I felt like I really wanted to do something with his name, just don't know what yet. So I'm going to work on other things in my composition and just ponder it, right? I just feel like this is just kind of screaming for me to somehow pay tribute to him. Do you know what I mean? So I hope that all of you are inspired to just start honoring Gustav Klimt in your own art journal. Everybody take a drink. And here's the thing. Your shapes don't have to be exactly like Klimt's. They can be what kind of speaks to you. He does a lot of, where's the pen? A lot of circle in a circle in a circle in a circle. And then like, so part of the circle is purple and part of the circle is gold and part of, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's all, like look at this circle right here. It just is part of her dress, but look at it. It's this greenish circle, right? But it has all kinds of colorful circles that fill that circle. Oh my gosh. That just makes me so happy. Oh my gosh. Seriously. His command of color. And then look at, they're standing in a field of flowers. Look at that. Oh my gosh. He has such attention to detail in his work. Hi, Kate. So I really want to play with that idea. And remember, we're not in a rush, right? We're just, hey Marcy, how are you? We're not in a rush. We're just creating. Remember, all of these are works in progress, right? We want to take our time and really be in it. Like, get to that flow state as you're creating. When I drew this out, I was in that flow state. I just had some Willie Nelson playing at full blast down here, and I just was drawing. And I love what I drew, and you will too. I promise. If you let yourself go, you know. So I'm going to look at the Tree of Life again. Okay, so let's look at this. This again is filled with, good morning, Joni. This is filled with dimension and patterning, right? And you'll notice his gold in his, let's see if I can get to that, or I can blow it up. Okay, the gold in the branches changes, right? Sometimes it's light shimmery gold and sometimes it's deeper, right? So kind of be mindful of that. And you'll notice that his the shapes within the shapes are really quite organic too, right? Nice and rounded on the edges, not very many sharp edges, I don't think. I feel like I really want my triangle to be filled with more triangles because it's so different than everything else here. But he does use triangles quite a lot. Hey, this pen is also a pencil. I have it on my I just have to tell you, because you know, I like something new, a new tool just as much as the next person. So this pen is by Unistyle, and it is a Unistyle fit. It's in my Anne's Artsy Arsenal. But look it's a mechanical pencil, and then you turn it, and it's a pen with blue black ink, and then a pen with black ink. Crazy, right? So I took this on my trip because I could take this and an eraser and I was good to go, right? I could write out postcards or I could draw with one implement. So this one is there's 3 cartridges inside of it, but they also have a 5. I don't know. I haven't seen that one in real life, but oh my gosh. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Hey Sheila, how are you this morning? So I'm going to start working on my triangle, and I want you to start to play with your creation too, right? So I feel like maybe I'll have some because I'm using a pencil, right? I can kind of sketch things out. He does have some of this kind of patterning in his work, and I really want to play with that idea. I want these really quite random. I don't want any anything in any particular order. I'm doing big ones and small ones. And remember, this is you're paying homage to Gustav Klimt. So just know, it does not have to be perfect. It has to be from your heart. That's the most important thing, right? He does have a lot of, I think I'm going to include some of these shapes. Within here. Shut up, I'm loving that. Maybe just kind of a square here. And now I'm going to go over mine with a pen. How's everyone doing? Are you, well, number one, are you having fun? That's the most important thing, right? And it's okay if my lines are a little bit wonky. A hand drew them, right? We're not a machine. And by doing this, by paying tribute to a great artist, you're going to become more and more familiar with his work. And by doing that, you become more and more familiar with his emotion. And that is, I'm telling you, that's just about the most fabulous thing. And I hope that by becoming familiar with his work, you'll start to see it places. I like to surround myself with artists' work that I really like. And that's not to say I have original works of, his original paintings in my house. But I do have some Gustav Klimt artist socks. And I do have postcards of his works that I saw at the Metropolitan Museum of Art when I visited New York. I have, that's, just know that you can surround yourself with art in inexpensive ways. It doesn't have to be full-fledged paintings on your walls, right? It can be in little ways. It can be a magazine photo that you just cut out and stick on your bulletin board. It can be a pencil that has, nowadays, great artists' work is on all manner of things, right? I love that. I love that it's accessible for everyone, right? So try to, as we study all of these artists, you'll start to see whose art kind of speaks to you, Hey, Karen. You'll be able to watch in the replay. Are you going to Klimt's show? I presume. If you get a chance to go to any of those immersive experiences, by all means, go. It's just, so Klimt has a, well, like the Van Gogh immersive experience, there's a new one coming that is Klimt, and it's I think it's this month. It starts in this month, and it's in Scottsdale, and it's all over the country. So if you get the chance, oh my gosh, you're just surrounded by that beautiful artwork and music that accompanies this show. That their artwork is projected on the walls and on the floor and on the ceiling, and it moves, and it's just, I'm telling you right now, it's about the most fabulous. Everybody take a drink. So if you want, I can draw another square so you know where I'm going with this. So I just picked a spot, nothing, and I just measured 6 inches across and then 6 inches up. And then 6 inches across again. And then 6 inches down. And then I just began to fill this square with his shapes. You can see this was my beginning, where I knew I wanted to include this. I wanted to include the swirls. I knew that was important. And the circles inside of circles, and a triangle, and then the rectangles inside of rectangles. So maybe for this one, I want to start with big swirls, right? And one thing I did notice is that he often has swirls that come off of like a main swirl. So that one, right? Then maybe we have one down here. We have one this way, right? And then one maybe this way. So I know I can go back and I can thicken those lines up. I can come back and create tubes sort of the there we go, right? And this one, let's make sure that we do, whoops, coming off here, and then, can you guys see what I'm drawing? Is that showing up? Is this pencil showing up? There we go, and around. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And here we go. And this one's going right to the edge. I love when that happens, because then that's just a, it just goes, it just fills the, it fills the edge, the borders, right? I love that. I want it to go all the way to the edge. So now, well, we have these to go. And remember, this doesn't have to be, I don't want anybody to feel like it has to be perfectly, his aren't perfect, so why would you think that yours have to be perfect, right? Hi, Debbie. We are studying Gustav Klimt today. We drew a 6x6 border in our art journal, and now we're going to fill it with Klimt's shapes and patterns. Everybody take a drink. Okay, now I want to get something, because this is so curvy and organic up here, I really want to have it juxtaposed to something quite linear down here. So I think I want to do some, like maybe I'll do some that are that big and some that are that big. And I like to do, and these are going to be filled with shapes, right? They can be slightly angled, they can be straight up and down, they can be close together, right? We can divide them. Let's come way over here. Let's do some more angly stuff. And then I like to do let's do this one. And then I want to do a row here that's similar to this, but now I want to do something like kind of tall, right? Let's do one super tall here. That's kind of cool. And have that, right? It can be wherever your imagination takes you, right? So just remember, this is when you get into that flow state, when you're just filling your square with Klimt's patterns, right? So let's, because this is, I'm feeling like what I want to accomplish is I want the linear stuff and the organic-y, swirly stuff to kind of meet each other in the middle. So I want the circle in a circle in a circle. Bye, Karen. Be dreaming about Gustav Klimt while you're working. That's probably not a good advice, is it? But you know what I mean. Have nice daydreams about his beautiful patterns. Right? So I want to do that here. And then this, I'm feeling like I want to play with having the linear stuff where it's a rectangle inside of a rectangle inside of a rectangle coming from this quite linear space down here. Then I want it to kind of just kind of float into this, and I want this to kind of float into that. Hey Renee, how are you? Hi Debbie Harning. Did I say hello? I don't remember. But anyway, I hope that everybody is having lots of fun. Do one circle up here. And then I'm going to have this one just be tucked. Just this corner is tucked behind that swirl. Hey, Christy. How are you? Digging that. Gustav Klimt. So let's see. I could draw these forever and a day. And I hope that you do too. You know? Let's have this one end right about here. So it can be Hey, Polly, how are you? Thank you for the kind words you wrote to me. I really appreciate that. That means the world. Okay, so now I have this spot. Let's see. Now I think I want these to be a little bit smaller maybe. And then I want these to go into like this. I want the same thing over here, where it just kind of morphs into this organic-y swirl, and that this morphs into the organic-y swirl up here, and that the organic-y swirl morphs into the linear. I just kind of dig that idea. This is why we do everything in pencil first. Oh, that's cool, Renee. What a treasure. What a treasure. There, that's really starting to like take shape. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I hope you are doing the same with whatever your creation is, right? Your creation is your creation. There's no right way or wrong way. I just want everybody to just get into studying this amazing artist. Hey, Linda McGee. How are you this morning? I have heard of the friction pen. I do like it. I do like it. I've used one on a project or two, that's for sure. I am fine and dandy. So we're doing an artist study today, Linda, of Gustav Klimt. And there is an immersive program coming to the same, I think it's called Lighthouse Art Space in Scottsdale. Like the Van Gogh immersive experience, the Klimt immersive experience is coming, I think, really right around the middle of March, so anytime now. So, anywho, that's who we are studying today. And his work is just... Oh, thank you, Linda. That's so nice. Like I said, I hope everybody gets to the point where they are, they just get so lost in what they're creating that they get to that flow state where everything else just kind of melts away. That's the greatest feeling, I think. I'm loving it more and more as I go along. I hope that you're loving yours too. I hope that you're... Well, thank you, Renee. I certainly appreciate that. That's just it. You can do whatever you want, Linda, right? I just happen to, we're just doing an art journal in a composition book. So your composition book can be whatever you want it to be. I just want to make art accessible to everybody, right? And a composition book is $1. They're less than that during back to school times. I will tell you, I buy so many art supplies during back to school times. I buy markers. I buy composition books. I buy usually a protractor and a compass and rulers. You know, I just look for different funky things. Different kinds of pens, because you know I love a pen. Anywho, that's kind of where I go for something fun. Target and Walmart. And I don't want them, I don't want to fill the entire space. I want to leave a little bit of air around things. That's what I'm feeling. I have not seen tempera paint sticks. I'll have to, I will have to check that out. Everybody take a drink again, please. And now at this point, now I'm just going to start going over it with my pen. So I usually like to use something quite thin because I'd rather go quite thin and then come back with thicker lines if I want. But I really like this micron plastic nib. It's about the bomb diggity. That's all I have to say. Oh, Kath, I'm so glad. Isn't it cool to go through your old art journal? I do mine too. I do mine every now and again. I just pull out the whole stack of, and I have probably 100 art journals, all of varying types of doneness. But I do love to pull them out and I do really, really, really encourage you to date it. Because it's so, exactly, Catherine, exactly. It is so different. And that's why I tell people, do things more than one time. Because the first one that you do is the learning one, right? The next one is exploration. And then the next one is even more exploration and putting your own spin on things, right? So please, whatever we do in our art journals, do it more than once, because these pages are cheap to fill, right? Hi, Alejandra. They're cheap to fill, but your growth will be tremendous, right? So I'm going to start going over some of my lines with my pen. And it's okay if it gets a little wonky. Remember I told you, this is a hand-drawn tribute to Mr. Klimt. It was not created with a computer that straightens all your lines out. I like them to look like my hand drew it. It was not drawn by a computer. It was not drawn by a machine, right? It was you. You created this. Okay, so let's go a line here. But that's just it, Catherine, right? My whole art journal is works in progress. You will continue to go back and work on it a little bit and then close the book, and then go back and work on it a little bit more and then close the book. It's okay. I certainly have artist studies and art journaling pages. Like some pages, like I've said, I have just the background. But then the other day I had leftover white paint in a class. And so I took that white paint and a stencil and I added it to this background that I had painted a little while ago, right? And then I'll come back and do something else. And then I'll come back and do something else. That's what art journals are all about. Growth and seizing those artsy opportunities that pop into your brain. And remember, your pencil lines are just guides, right? They're just guides. And just slow your roll when it comes to this kind of thing. It does not have to be start to finish in one sitting. It shouldn't be, right? All these little spaces that we're creating will be filled with color, right? So think about how time consuming that will be. And embrace that. Embrace all those little opportunities for artsy goodness, right? I read a quote the other day and it just spoke to me. And it talked about replacing the words have to with get to, right? Especially on the, during a time when, Pam, what were you saying? I get to, right? I get to make art. I get to, please, look what's happening in the Ukraine. I get to be with my family. I get to walk outside freely. I get to a million things, right? We are lucky. Everybody take a drink. I hope, we are almost out of time. I hope that everybody continues to create their Klimt works of art and honoring him and paying tribute to him, and just being grateful that he set the stage for us. He, you know, he was brave in his own way, just like we're brave in our own way. So I hope that you will continue to fill your square with Klimt patterns, but that you'll also, that, you know, be proud of yourself for doing that. And then come back another time and start to fill those spaces in with color. And then add some gold in honor of Mr. Klimt. He was all about the gold. I adore you all, and I'm so grateful that you come to spend time with me and create with me. I adore you, right down to the cockles of my heart. Thank you so very much. Talk to you soon, everyone.